Hello and welcome to your reading. This is the Awakened Jenn. All right, so this week our focus is going to be about that full moon eclipse that is happening on March 25th. That's Monday. So before we get started, I want to go ahead and take 3 deep breaths and go ahead and call in the spirit team. So if you'll close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths with me. All right, breathe in. That's 1. Breathe in. That's 2. Breathe in. That's 3. I now call in my angels, archangels, ascended masters, my higher self, and guardian angels to please enter this present space and time. I call upon Archangel Michael to place a bubble of protection around us. Only beings of the highest vibration of pure love and light may enter in. So be it. All right. So this past week was one of my better weeks that I've had. So I know that we've been talking about this energy a lot, how tumultuous it has been for most of us. I've had lots of conversations in the past few weeks to know that I am not the only one who was going through this. And so this week I did feel that energy. It was easier for me this week. I was happier this week than I've probably been in a while. Now I did take some time off this week, so that probably helped too. But moving into next week, our biggest focus is going to be on this full moon in Libra, which is also a lunar eclipse. And so I'm going to read to you a little bit about what the lunar eclipse means for astrology. All right. Lunar eclipse, change. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth, attributed to Buddha. A lunar eclipse takes place when the earth is directly aligned between the sun and the moon. The earth blocks out the sun's light, causing the moon to be in the earth's shadow. This can only happen during a full moon, and while a solar eclipse lasts only for minutes, the lunar eclipse lasts for hours. Ancient people were extremely frightened by eclipses because they believed a great serpent was taking bites out of the sun and the moon. Eclipses can bring on times which may seem shadowy and disordered, but they are not necessarily bad and should not be viewed as such. We are meant to be thrown off balance to make necessary changes. It is a time of seeing the light and focusing on something that you have either put off or didn't exactly notice was coming up. When the lunar eclipse card presents itself in a reading, dramatic changes are in store. Such changes will likely be unexpected ones, the kind that might seem hard or will take some special effort on your part. These will not be gradual, easy, barely noticed transformations. Your world may be rattled somewhat. It will seem more like a revolution. Do not be alarmed, however, because this alerting of your life is essential in getting you where you need to be. We are all here to share our gifts and lead others to theirs. It is never an easy path. Any number of things might happen: the ending or beginning of a transformative relationship, a change in life's path or job, or a change in where you live. Whatever it may be, it will be abrupt. Lunar eclipses herald times of a new way of looking at things. That is why they can even bring on changes in eyeglass or contact lens prescriptions, or if you are lucky, a marked improvement in your eyesight. The moon also has a connection to the brain, thus you may find yourself more in tune with the unseen energies or experience moments of revelation. Whatever the issue, it has been brewing for a while and things are about to bubble over. It could be a partner or a would-be partner who wishes to take a relationship to a new level. Since the moon symbolizes our emotions, you probably already sense what this change should be and will not be completely surprised by it. The force and dramatic nature of the shift may be unexpected. Expect to be thrown off balance in this situation. If this situation is something that you have taken for granted and it collapses, then you will need to make a new start. In any event, you should start to see these effects within the next 6 weeks or expect for an outcome to be completed within the next 6 months. This card also indicates cycles, and whatever seems lost at this time, you can be assured will return to you, perhaps in a different form, but most certainly better. So, this card also corresponds with the Five of Cups. So, the Five of Cups is about realizing life is not what you expected it to be. So it's about reassessing, and it's really coming to terms with what is. So I think a lot of us tend to live in a world of potentials. Like when we get into new relationships, we're looking at it for the potential that it has to give us. And so, like, that's what kind of really probably attracts us in the most is the potential of where this thing is headed. And we can get so stuck in that idea of the potential that we forget to really assess what is the reality of the situation. And so that's what I'm seeing is probably what is happening most in all relationships right now, because this full moon is in Libra, which is connected to our relationships. It's ruled by the planet of Venus, which is about love and beauty. And it's about your relationships. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to take a drink. Oh my goodness, sorry about that. So it's ruled by the planet Venus, which is about love and beauty, and it's connected to our relationships. So this full moon is having us inspect all the relationships in our lives. And so we're looking at, so the highest vibration of the Libra energy is patience, compassion, and empathy. But when it's showing its shadow side, it comes out as indecisive and passive aggressive. So we're kind of looking at our relationships to bring in that balanced, high vibration version of the Libra energy to come into our relationships. We want to look at the things that are nourishing us and what are the things that are depleting us. And so the way that we're going to approach that isn't necessarily we're going to cut out all of these relationships all at once. It's about understanding what boundaries need to be set into place. So when you're seeing, okay, this relationship is one that is really inspiring me and growing me, I definitely want to spend more time in this type of energy. But if you've got one that's depleting you, now then you're going to have to look at that relationship and understand what boundaries need to be set in place now to prevent them from continuing to drain you. And sometimes that boundary is to end, the relationship, is to have the complete separation. But sometimes it's just starting with speaking up and saying, hey, this is having this effect on me. Can we do something about this, and coming to a compromise? So those are going to be conversations that I'm expecting that you will be having this week with a lot of your relationships. But I'm going to say the more intimate the connection, the more impact you're going to feel this in your life. And you should already be feeling this energy already, because with the eclipse being on Monday, it's usually about 5 days leading up to it. And like the leading up energy is more potent than usually when it's leaving. All right. So the numbers that I have been seeing this week were 122 and 344. So 122 is about moving forward in manifesting your goals. I am set to receive many blessings. I have all the tools that I need to manifest my dreams and desires. So, this is just telling you you're at a time right now where everything is right around you for you to set your manifestations into place. And you have to do your work and your part, to help bring these in. It's not just. So this reminds me of like when the aces show up in the tarot reading. The ace is about the potential. And so we've already talked about, looking at things for the potential, but not seeing the reality of it. So you've got the potential. Now you've got to take that potential and put your pieces in and do your actions to bring your manifestations into your life. And so part of that is going to come back to looking at, what boundaries need to be set into place, because that's going to help shape your reality there and bring your manifestations in too by having the right boundaries. 344 is a powerful sign of abundant success and spiritual growth. Your hard work is securing your benefits. So this is coming back to your efforts. The efforts that you have been putting in are going to start paying off at this time, and you've just got to stay focused on it. Be clear in your communication, and do not give others the chance to misunderstand you. All right. So, and I do know that we are getting close to the next Mercury retrograde. I think that's April 1st, which is usually when communication gets all messed up. But this is saying right now we do probably need to be, making sure that we're being very clear in our communications so that we're not being misunderstood. All right, so I'm going to pull some cards from the Angel Guide Oracle, and this is by Kyle Gray. All right. I'm going to see what angel messages we have for this week. Guidance for going into this eclipse energy. All right, so I set the intention that all the messages that come out will be for your highest good. I set the intention that any messages that you need to hear will come out in this reading today. And I set the intention that I will be given very clear messages, be given all the right words, phrases, and anything needed in order to communicate the message as clearly as possible so that it can be received as it was intended. All right. So if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. If you find value in this video, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to this channel. You can hit the bell for notifications, and it will let you know every time I post a new video. Right now, I've been doing these weekly live sessions on Saturdays at 11. I'm not sure if I'm going to change that up or not because I've got a lot of other things kind of going on. But you'll still get a video once a week on Saturdays. So I'm not sure about the live part yet. All right. So what guidance do the angels have for us as we go into this eclipse? This week of the eclipse. So we've got earth and ground. I'm going to say that is very important. Make sure that you are staying very grounded this week. Self-acceptance. So this has come out so many times for me this week. I think as you're inspecting these relationships, the self-acceptance is the part that you're going to have to really keep in mind the most, is because I think a lot of times we try to change ourselves to be able to stay in relationships with people. And now this is telling you, once you know who you are and you accept who you are, then you will get into the relationships that accept that piece about you too. So you're not having to constantly change yourself to be what other people want you to be. And divine timing. Oh, okay. So we've got something that is meant to be. Okay, earth and grounding. You are blessed to receive this card today because it's a message of protection and guardianship. Angels are strongly connected to you and your path right now, and they want to support your evolution. When you lose a sense of connection to who you are, you can often find yourself focusing on energy or projects or even old habits that can limit evolution. So take time to breathe, call on Mother Earth to hold you, and invite angels of the earth to draw deep roots from your being down to the earth, down to the heart of the earth. Know that when you are grounded, you are strong, focused, and loving individual, and you can make decisions that are enriching and revitalizing. When this card shows up for you, angels are guiding you to remember that you are of great value. The earth is blessed to have you. And so it's just kind of going back to that grounding energy that's kind of keeping you connected here to the earth. And so different things that you can do for grounding, which one is just drinking water. Water is a good way to help keep you grounded. Other things that you can do is just get out into nature. I like to think that whatever your sign is, like, so I'm a Pisces, I consider myself a water sign. The best way that I find to ground is to get into water. Like every evening I will take a bath with the Himalayan salts in it. And that is the way I like to ground my energy at the end of the day. So like if you are an air sign, I would say definitely get out in nature and let, the air, the wind, I would say that would help. For fire signs, I would say like candle gazing, that sort of thing, like fire pits, things like that, something that brings in that warmth, letting you gaze at the fire. I would say that would be very grounding for the fire signs. And then the earth signs, I mean, getting your hands in the dirt. So if you're a gardener or something like that, that would be something very grounding for you as well. All right, so self-acceptance. You are making incredible efforts to heal and release habits and thoughts that once held you back. Take a moment to look at yourself through the loving eyes of Mother and Father God and appreciate how far you've come, all the adversity you've faced, and the person you are today. Angels are wrapping their wings around you and encouraging you to see what they see. And they see you as perfect just the way you are. If your confidence has dropped recently and you've not been as positive as you'd like to have been, change that now by giving yourself credit where it is due. Maybe you've discovered that negative self talk and thoughts aren't working for you. This is a time to try loving yourself instead. To get started, try speaking to yourself more respectfully and giving yourself some leeway and some time to change. And so, I mean, just giving yourself grace for what you've been through, grace for, how far you've come. If you're not moving as fast as you want to move, I mean, this is all the grace that is needed. And just that self-care, self-love of just knowing that you are worthy of the good things, in life. You are worthy, because that's going to be the biggest holdup for most of us, is not feeling on that deep subconscious level that we are worthy to have good things. And so, like, we see that when they say that your inner reality is reflected in your outer world. I mean, this is kind of what it's talking about. When you have these very deep core self-beliefs that you don't even really fully know, consciously know, that you don't deserve good things, that you don't have the talents that other people have, that you know the thoughts, the things that you tell yourself that are holding you back. So that's the reason why you're able to continue to accept a reality that does not line up with the one that you say that you want, because somewhere inside of you, you are agreeing that you deserve this reality that's being reflected to you, or else you'd fight harder to get out of it. And I'm saying that as someone who is that, okay? All right, so divine timing. Let's see. Okay. Life is always unfolding in the perfect time, space, sequence. So angel wisdom is encouraging you to move into a state of trust, knowing that good things are always unfolding for you. You may find yourself feeling impatient and unsettled, but instead of letting your ego and imagination pull you into a downward spiral, trust that your prayers are being answered and that your plans are coming to fruition in a way that is meeting your needs rather than your wants. You may feel that your prayers aren't being answered or that your hopes aren't being realized, but you must know that the universe and your angels are always working towards the highest good and the outcome that will best serve you. When this card appears, trust the process. Okay. So the trust the process, the accepting whatever is showing up in your reality. That's been a huge message for me this week too, is that if it's showing up, it's meant to be there. Instead of fighting against it and saying, this isn't how this is supposed to be, just accepting there's a reason why it's showing up like this. So it's, for me to inspect, for me to gain, to learn, to grow. So I'm trying to think about like some of the messages that I've gotten this week and how like they impacted my personal situation. There's been multiple times that I thought things were going to go a certain way and then they didn't. And then I'm sitting here questioning myself again. Well, was this the right path? Was I doing? And every single time when I get to the other side and I see how it's played out, it's because it was either getting me to something that was better than what I was wanting originally, or it was teaching me something that was still needed before I could get to the reality that I want. Because, sometimes we are just not ready for the things that we say that we are wanting. And I would say, I'm trying to put this together in practical ways. So like having a business, you may have the most brilliant idea for a business, but where you are right now, you are not quite who you need to be able to bring this business into, complete fruition. And so because you put it out there, I want this to happen, and you're actively trying to manifest this business into your life. You've got to accept that sometimes part of the preparation of helping to bring that manifestation in is some of the struggles and troubles that you are going through, because they're teaching you things that you wouldn't have even known to ask about that situation. And so, like, I learned so much from going through, the barbershop experience about running a business. And when I would run into these blocks about, like, why is it not working this way, why can I not get this, what I want to happen, when I would pull back and really just accept things for where they were at and try to grow and learn in that space, I usually gained so much more from that was bringing me to higher levels than and quicker than I probably could have got, like, otherwise. So, I mean, I think that's the message here of the divine timing is, everything is with purpose. Everything that is showing up is with purpose. Everything that's happening in your life right now is with purpose. If you will just, instead of being resistant to, this is coming in and I don't want to experience this, find the lesson, find the treasure in it. Find what is the purpose of that thing being in your life, because it's meant to keep pushing you further. All right. What am I going to pull next? I think I'm just going to go to the tarot. All right. So I'm going to use the Light Seers Tarot this week. Going to look in to see what can we expect from this energy of this eclipse. What is going to happen on the collective level with the energy of this eclipse? So we've got the Knight of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the High Priestess, and then I'm going to pull one more card, which is the Opportunity this week, the Seven of Cups. Okay. So the Knight of Wands is about your passion, that thing that lights you up. It's about going towards your passion. So I do feel like, especially looking at these two together, so the Ten of Swords is about walking away from something is over. So we're talking about our relationships, our connections. So again, we're looking at the things that are what is filling us up. How did I word this earlier? What nourishes you, inspires you, lights you up, and then what are the things that are draining you? So that's the things that we're looking at, and we're having to get very clear about this week. And with the High Priestess, it tells me that we're going to have to be, very in tune with our intuition to know which of these things are the things that we're going to go towards with this, and we're going to release with this. So the opportunity is the Seven of Cups. So the opportunity is about, one, you have a lot of options. You have choices. Your power is in your choice. And so I think that a lot of times we forget that we actually do have options, that we actually do have a choice. We get stuck in situations that, are depleting us, and we think that we have no other option other than to just be there. But you do have a choice. In fact, your choice of staying there is one of the choices that you are making. The other thing about this card is that it reminds you that there's not really a perfect plan. There's not like that perfect option. Like, all of these things have the potential to be good or bad. And this card always reminds me of a dream that I had. Gosh, it's been a few years. So in this dream, I was like put in the middle of just nothingness, like just big black nothingness. And all around me were all of these like little worlds, like they were just almost like TV screens. They were just all around me in every direction were all of these different realities. And I knew like I could like peek into each one of the realities and I could just kind of see where it would take me. Just I would go into this one and it would show me just the full path. I would go into this one and it would show me the full path. And like I noticed out of all of the different realities that I went to, every one of them had something positive and negative to gain from it. So there was none that were perfect. There was no perfect option. But like the message that I got out of that whole dream was like we are choosing what it is we actually want. So as I was looking into each of these realities that it was showing me, my choice was going to be about what was the end goal that I was trying to achieve. And so once I decided what the end goal that I was trying to achieve, then that was going to determine what the bad was that I was going to have to go through. But every single one of them had bad in it. And so that's what I'm getting the most out of this card. It's just like, don't think that there's like some perfect, like, life has all the ups and downs. And sometimes to get to your greater rewards, you do have to go through some of the harder battles. That's just part of the process. And so like, that's going to be part of your decision is as I'm choosing, I want to go towards this. I know that I'm also choosing to go towards the uncomfortable stuff that comes with it to get me there. So like going back to like, I'm trying to build a business, like, okay, you've chosen, I want to go on the reality that this business is the reality, is the end goal. Well, so part of that means that you're going to have to go through all of these, negative things that are building and growing you into the person that has that reality, that is that reality. All right. So what is our best move forward this week? We have the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is about being indecisive. So feeling like you don't know which way to go, not trusting your intuition. And so we do have to stay very connected to our intuition this week about like trusting that, okay, when we do let something go, that it's going to be replaced with something better. Okay. The wheel, this comes back to that divine timing. This is fate. This is the wheel of life that just, you go up and you go down and you have positives and you have negatives, and just reminding yourself that just because you're in a low state right now doesn't mean that you're not going to go back up. And also if you're on your high, you will also have a moment where you're going to go back down, but that the down is not, it's not like a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's not a sign that you're doing wrong. It's just part of life. And then the Two of Pentacles. So that's interesting that we got two cards out and they both seem just very indecisive energy. So like, that's what we're going to be needing to work on this week, is to be very clear, like to make these decisions, even when we don't feel like we have all the information, even when we don't feel like we know exactly what we need to do. We do need to start bringing in, that balance. We do need to start moving, get us out of the stuck energy. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to ask about this? How best can we do that? Okay, so we've got the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is where we spend too much time focusing on what we don't have and where we're missing out, that we are being given. I'm sorry, I'm backwards here. Where we're being given this gift directly from God. It's like we are just sitting here focused on all of these empty cups, what's not working. And instead of actually, like looking around and doing something, this is about getting us out of the stuck energy. We've got the Page of Wands. That is that re-inspired joy, just getting excited again and doing what feels good. And then the Six of Pentacles is about bringing balance to the energy that we are giving. And so if you have been in definitely codependent relationships where one overgives and the other, just continues to take, we are needing to get out of those type of relationships, because that's definitely the ones that we're talking about that's going to be depleting your energy. All right, so I'm going to close us out with the Art of Manifestation Oracle. All right. So what guidance do we have to bring these manifestations into reality? Choices and decisions. I'm telling you, that's being pretty clear. The choices that we make today are defining the shape of tomorrow. And so it is hardly surprising that we sometimes worry about making the right decisions. Do not shroud your mind in the fog of uncertainty. Just as you have choices today, you also have choices tomorrow and the day after. Be assured that you can always change course again. So that's connecting me back to this card right here, and just reminding you that there's no perfect choice, and that, you can make a decision today and go towards this, and you can see how it feels. And okay, going back to that dream, I've chosen that's the intended outcome that I want. But as I start walking that path and I realize, okay, here's all the things that I have to go through to get to that, I can make a different choice. I can decide, no, that was actually more than what I actually wanted to deal with. That was more than what I'm actually able to handle. Let me choose something else. So you can also make different choices at any time too. And that was brought to me. That was actually brought out in a conversation I had this week. I said it, but I said this. I said, and I was reminded, yeah, you can make a different choice. You can make a different choice at any time that you realize that you have more information, more clarity, just more understanding. You just know yourself better. You can make a different choice. All right. So I'm going to close it out there. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I hope that this eclipse energy is kind to you. I hope that you will use it to help bring better relationships into your life. All right. I'll talk to you next time.